Hey everyone, today is December 22nd, 2022, and I am heading down to Massachusetts. Right now, I am in Vermont. It is starting to snow, but there is going to be a gigantic storm starting tonight, and it's going to go into tomorrow morning. Massachusetts is expecting 2 inches of rain overnight, a lot of heavy rain. Right now, we're further up north. Right now in Vermont, it is snowing for the time being. Tomorrow, all of New England is supposed to be in the 60s and 50s further north. All the snow up north is going to melt. Lots of rivers are going to be getting really high. I know I personally set up 6 time-lapse cameras on rivers and streams up there. But up north, even with the snow melt and 2 inches of rain expected, nothing really ever floods. Anytime there's heavy rain, I usually head down to Massachusetts, which is about a 7, maybe sometimes 8-hour trip down. That's what I'm doing today. Probably for the past, basically the last 2 years, I've been running out of luck more and more making this ride down here. I remember 3 years ago was my best year ever. Almost every time going down to Massachusetts, there was bad, severe flooding. If you remember all my flood videos, this year, 2022, I believe I only made 4 storm drain videos. It's just not happening anymore because the DOT department got embarrassed by the many videos being created, and it looks like they got working. Well, the last time I was down in Massachusetts, it was not raining, but I did notice a lot of storm drains were covered with debris. So I'm thinking that there might be some flooding we can see through the overnight hours. I purposely woke up late today around noon. Right now it's around 6 p.m. That means I will be able to stay up all night doing this stuff. Whenever I get tired, I'll just find the nearest Walmart and get some sleep. That's how I do this, and if we don't find anything tonight, I'll just show you how I sleep overnight in Walmart parking lots when I do this kind of stuff. So we're about 3 hours out from where I'm going. Western Mass is usually the worst place for flooding and neglect. Eastern Mass has its spots too. Those are the bullseyes I usually target. Snowing now. I do expect this road, which is 91 south, to possibly get snowy, like where I have to actually slow down. And this is not the best time to be doing this. Thankfully, this storm is coming through the overnight hours, because overnight there's not many people on the road. Massachusetts has some of the worst drivers in the country, I've realized. Almost every day in Massachusetts, some idiot pulls out and hits you. And because we're nearing Christmas, during the daytime hours, every idiot's going to be on the road, making it very dangerous. Right now, there's a lot of traffic on this highway. Usually 91 on the northern end is pretty much dead because not many people live up there. This is a lot of traffic. This might be the worst I've ever seen. Usually you can take this road in the overnight hours. You can drive a couple hours and not see a single person on it. Snow is starting to get heavier. So if we're not successful this time, I just cannot keep doing this. I've done this for the past 2 years with little success. 3 years ago and 4 years ago were my most successful times. And I'm going to have to just start coming down here only for giant tropical storms when I know a system is going to be parked over the state for a long time and not just going through fast. I do plan on next hurricane season going down south a little further and chasing after some of those kind of storms. know, it's really amazing right now that it's so cold out and it's snowing, because tomorrow this area is going to be close to 60 degrees and rainy. Another hour south of driving, I'm supposed to go into some pouring rain, not even any snow. And then tomorrow, it being 60, it's going to crash into the single digits tomorrow night. We have a warm front about to come through in a couple hours, and then a cold front coming through in about another 12 or so. Maybe 18 or so. Alright everyone, you just saw that time lapse of it going from all snow and now it's all rain, and I need the wipers. See this truck right here? That's a real shame. Why are they throwing salt down on a road when it's raining? It's now 35 degrees and the temperature is just going to rise throughout the night until it gets to around 60, and it's just going to be pouring rain all night. Why are they wasting that whole truck of salt on the road for no reason at all? Those guys got to look at the weather forecast. Alright, it is raining a good amount right now. Still a ton of traffic on the road for this hour. Alright, we're getting off here at the West Springfield, Massachusetts exit. This is one of the worst towns as far as street flooding. Got to fill up with fuel, and then we can go around and look for some floods. I'm glad to be off that fast highway. This time of year, especially around Christmas, there are a lot of bad drivers, and combined with the heavy rain, don't want to be on there. Lots and lots of Christmas traffic mixed with bad weather and bad drivers. Wow, gasoline is 30 cents higher here than it is in Maine. But at least the gas prices aren't really high anymore. These gas prices are even lower than they were in 2019. Alright, I've been driving around for a while. The majority of the roads that we used to drain are still being very well maintained. It's not raining at the moment, but if it pours, this in particular road I do believe will flood. Just check out what the people that live around here have done. They rake up the leaves from their yard, and in this town, leaf pickup is free. You just put the barrels or bags on the edge of the road. Or these people here have woods right here to the left. They could simply just go dump it in the woods. But instead, what do these lazy people do? They walk it across the street and they dump it on the edge of the road next to the guardrail. Do you see these large piles of leaves that people just brought over there in barrels and dumped them out? Instead of dumping them over the guardrail into the woods, they just dump them in the edge of the road where a big storm surge could drag them into a drain. Alright, it's starting to pick up heavier now, the rain. It's supposed to rain like this pretty heavy continuously for the next 4 hours or so. I've been driving around the state of Massachusetts now for hours, and the temperature has been continuously rising, and eventually we're supposed to get extremely windy. There's a wind advisory now for the entire state. And as a result of that, I brought my chainsaw. I have the strobe lights on the vehicle, the off-road lights. So if we happen to find a tree laying across the road, I'll check it for power lines. And if there's nothing on it, I'll try to get it out of the road. There's been so many times I've gone out chasing after these storms, looking for floods, that I've found blocked off roads, and I really wish I had my chainsaw. I really don't know how my camera footage is showing up. I can't see a thing on the screen for some reason. It's very faint. it's not that dark in real life. I guess the camera's having trouble picking up everything because the road is dark and wet. Well, I'm wide awake, and until I start getting sleepy, I'm just going to keep driving around the state looking for floods or storm damage. And as soon as I start feeling tired, I'm going to go ahead and find a Walmart or some place to park for the night, get in the back, and go to sleep. Usually around this hour, I would usually start getting sleepy now, but since I purposely woke up so late so I could do this, I think I'll be able to drive basically all night around looking for stuff. And this is perfect. All the traffic went away. So I'm kind of glad this storm started up and is going to be going on mostly at night. So if there is an issue, I don't have to deal with traffic while taking care of it. You know, especially over the past year, I'm really seeing it. Here in Massachusetts, it seems like I've become a victim of my own success with getting the DOT actually working. They're always street sweeping these areas that I used to find prone to flooding all the time. It's like impossible for it to happen anymore. One time I came down this year, I could tell there was maybe a flood there because the debris on the drains, but every time there's a storm in the forecast, it seems like they go out to prevent this stuff from happening anymore. But I guess that's a good thing too, because I can focus on more important things. This upcoming year, I'll be making a lot more culvert videos, and I should be able to make even better ones now. And I guess this is a good thing after all. Somebody, probably one of my trolls who likes watching my videos and trying to get me in trouble, went and contacted a whole bunch of the timber companies, because, you know, a lot of my recent videos are off-road, dirt roads, you know, and I say that they're from Maine. I don't say exactly where they are, but somebody went around. I have no idea how many companies they contacted, but I'm assuming a lot, trying to get me in trouble. Anyways, they told one guy that I was causing malicious damage to the culvert pipes on his property. He is, I don't know if he's the owner, maybe the co-owner of one of the logging companies. Anyways, he eventually figured out what areas I was in, and eventually one time confronted me, and he talked about how a lot of times the beaver dams have been just mysteriously disappearing and stuff. So he offered me a job. He talked about what kind of things I would like to do, and for the time being, I have his permission now, and I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Just going to do it voluntarily because I like making videos and stuff, and out of it to my benefit, while I'm up there, I'll be able to get free fuel to be able to travel all those roads, because I go through a lot of fuel doing that kind of stuff. So that's helpful, and anytime I want, I'll be able to get a job doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs related to that kind of stuff, and those companies are hiring and they're looking for people to do that kind of stuff. I'm just going to keep doing it voluntarily for the time being. Someday it would be cool to get a CDL license and be able to drive those kind of trucks up there. Something like that. Whenever I'm ready for a change. That'd be cool. But this upcoming year, I'll be able to make a lot more videos like that. Beaver Dam related stuff. Because you wouldn't believe how many trolls and people on YouTube go out of their way to try to make me look bad. You know, there was this one time, well, it actually happens a lot, but recently there was this one guy's comment, and he leaves like a whole paragraph saying things like, I wonder how long it'll take for this guy's subscribers to figure out how much damage he's causing to the environment. Well, this guy is obviously misinformed, because I don't think he understands if the culvert pipe is plugged, it's going to cause a gigantic environmental impact when that road pushes out. I don't think the guy understands what a culvert pipe is, and that it's supposed to be open to allow the water to flow under the road and not over it. Anyways, I can click on somebody like that's profile and it'll show me all the other comments they've left on my channel. And that guy, he basically copies and pastes that same couple paragraphs on every single video. And I could see that he's not even watching the videos. It's literally a troll, because I could see that he was posting the comments like literally less than a minute apart. So I just go in, and thankfully YouTube now has finally adjusted their settings. You go in there, you block the guy, it deletes all his comments. Not too long ago, I'd have to go in there and manually delete every single comment, because blocking him is not going to get rid of those things. Also, in the comment section, I do have a lot of bots that flag all kinds of aggressive comments and things like that. All the threatening comments. There's all kinds of people that leave threats and stuff. And I do have moderators. If they find people like this, they'll also block them. I've had people come to my channel. I don't know if they're trolls, and I don't know if they're genuine people or not, so I just ignore them. Every now and then I'll get a comment in there that says, I don't know what I did wrong, or, well, anyways, they're saying they're blocked and they want me to go and unblock their other account. Well, that's not going to happen, because there are probably tens of thousands of accounts that I've blocked over the years for that kind of stuff. My channel has probably a couple million unique accounts going to it every year. So blocking a couple thousand accounts over a year is not unheard of. Most people don't do that. I know most channels don't even read the comments once they hit like 100 or 200,000 followers. But I still comb through it. That's why my comment section is so clean. I get rid of all the vulgar people in there, all the trolls. It takes a lot of mental energy. But I'm going to keep that going as long as possible. And if I don't do it, I have a lot of moderators that will continue to take care of that kind of stuff. And the moderators are probably the reason why that count is so high. I go in there and look at the amount of accounts that are blocked. It's huge. Can't believe how many people leave negative comments and shit on the channel. You know, earlier when I got off the highway and I said, oh, the gas prices are higher here. No, they're actually not. That gas station's higher only because it's next to the highway and they know that they can charge more just for the convenience of it being next to the highway. But no, gas prices are actually really low.
In a quarter mile, slide left onto Massachusetts 67 North, North Main Street.
Gas prices are actually very low right now because I was able to fill up the tank for only 35 bucks today from almost empty. Haven't been able to do that in like a year. The lowest gas price I ever got in my life was in 2020. I got it for $1.28 at a Big Y gas station in Chicopee, Massachusetts. I do have their card, which saved me 5 cents. Cheapest gas I've ever got. Most expensive I ever paid was $6.70 in California.
Take the next left onto Massachusetts 67 North, North Main Street.
Look at that big, beautiful...
Continue on Massachusetts 67 North for 5 miles.
Look at that big, beautiful Christmas tree there. Alright everyone, so I'm still driving around out here. It's just after 11 o'clock. I just checked the radar, the future radar, and it says that, or it's showing that the heaviest rain is going to come through at around 2, 3 a.m. I should still be out driving around. I'm not getting tired yet. That's just what it's showing, so I'm just going to keep driving around looking for stuff. The heavy wind has not started yet, but I assume the heavy wind is going to start up with that heavy rain as the warm front pushes through. The cold front will come through tomorrow afternoon. You know, this is one of those nights, it's just so dark out that the camera can't even really focus in on the road. It looks like tonight might set up to be one of those nights that I've mentioned in a lot of videos. The DOT can't prevent floods. Right now, the wind is picking up so much that a lot of areas, it's blowing debris and leaves into the road. And that is setting up a perfect scenario, so when a downpour comes through, it's going to collect all that stuff, drag it over into the drains. So it's possible that might happen now that the heavy rain is going to start within 1 or 2 hours and go for a while. The heavy winds are just starting to pick up. Alright everyone, I just stopped on this section of road because there is a culvert here that we stopped at once before. always has problems because it's like a 6-inch pipe or something really stupid and small. It has caused this road to flood over so many times simply because it can't fit through it. Here it is. See how small that is and inadequate? And look at all the debris that's about to go into it and plug it. Would not be surprised when the downpour comes if this can't take it again and the whole street floods over as a result. You can tell this whole area often is underwater because of that pipe. And there's only like 2 feet of elevation before it comes across the bike trail and ultimately ends up in the road. That looks like a add-on. Like they didn't plan on that being a stream when it rains, so it just enters the storm drain system. Doesn't even go across the road. You know, just like you guys are seeing on the camera, in real life it is really hard to tell where the lines are on the roads. And it really is dangerous, especially when it's raining. Whole road is shiny, it's all level, you can't tell where the lines are. You know, years ago they started using, instead of paint, this thick plastic adhesive lines that they'd actually have to melt onto the road. And a lot of times you'd find them peeled up because the snow plow could scrape them off. Well, recently a lot of the newer roads, as they repave them, they've been using a milling machine, and they'll actually mill part of the road, indenting it, and then they'll paint into that. It's harder to get worn off by plows and tires because it's indented. And when the road is wet, even if the paint is completely worn off, you can tell where the line is. I think that's a genius idea. In a lot of new roads, they're incorporating that. But they have a long way to go. I can't even tell where the line is on this road. And I realize it has nothing to do with me, because as soon as I turn onto a good road, perfect. I just entered Northampton, Massachusetts, and right on the other side of the Connecticut River, which is Hadley, Russell Street, for a second I thought I hit the curb. The pothole was so big, I can't believe I didn't break something. I felt like I almost broke my teeth. It was such the biggest impact I ever hit for any bump. Couldn't believe it. Massive pothole. Almost broke my teeth. There's some pooling water there on the road, but that's just because the road is kind of sunken and misshapen from settling over the years. I just turned around because there is something here. Is this it? Yes, there's a pretty big puddle here. Is there a drain though? Maybe. Let's get out and look. Alright, I got out into the road and no. The drain's up there and it's working fine. It's just another big dip and a bunch of random water here pouring into the road. I believe we came here a while back, and there might be a drain right here actually in the middle of this. Or maybe I'm mistaken. I think I'm mistaken actually, because thinking back to when we made this video, I believe that was the drain that was clogged and I couldn't find one here. I think this is just a big blockage in this channel that's not even supposed to be here, just spilling off of this other road. I'm not parking for the night yet. I'm not tired. I'm just stopping here at this Walmart briefly so I can check the radar and stuff. What a mess. Look at this parking lot. This is such incompetence of these employees. I've never seen a Walmart parking lot so bad. Do you see how many shopping carts there are? All over the place. Every one of these places where you're supposed to put your carts is full. The parking lot, there's carts all over the place. What a mess. Can't even drive straight in most of these lanes without hitting something. Look at all these shopping carts. Real great. All over the place. And there's a lot of cars parked around here, probably mostly the employees. And we're getting ready for a windstorm. So you can see what's probably going to end up happening. I just checked the radar again. Every time I check it, it seems like the storm is further out. Now it's saying it's not going to hit until around 3. First time I checked, it said it was around midnight or 1. Keeps changing. How does this happen? Do you see this? Every inch of this parking lot, just shopping carts randomly thrown everywhere. All over the place. This is the worst case of shopping carts being left out I've ever seen. Usually, when Walmart closes, their employees come out and collect them all. This is such incompetence. One of the places I usually check for blockages, I just found a big blockage. The next time I'm in this area during daylight hours, I'm gonna go there and do that. It can stay for now. It's not like it's gonna block it anytime soon, but it is making the water a little bit higher, maybe a foot higher than normal, but it's a 5-foot pipe. No, that's actually a 6-foot pipe, so that's barely anything. That can wait for a little while until a better day. I got out and I just looked at my tire. Remember I said I hit a gigantic pothole? I must have skimmed the edge of it. I literally have a dent in the rim. I can't believe the tire's not flat. It didn't dent the rim, it like bent part of it. I'll show you next time I get out. I just pulled in this gas station and I was like, for real? Oh, it's too good to be true. See the gas price, $2.93? That is a really good price. But on the other side of the sign, it is obviously broken. Look what it says. See that? How it's a little bit broken? I thought it said $2.53. But now I can see it's a 9. It's just a little bit burned out. Very windy outside right now. Shaking the car back and forth. It never really rained a lot though. Just very windy right now. I was able to get a couple hours of sleep. So if it does start picking up, I'll be able to get back on the road a lot better now. It's now 6 a.m. Alright everyone, it's morning and the storm really did not even hit. There was a lot of wind, but driving around, not really seeing much damage. It looked like a lot of rain, it being whacked against the vehicle, but it really wasn't. None of the storm drains are covered up. It was another dud, as I thought it could have been. I thought it may have also went together perfectly to be one of those storms where it drags debris. Like right here, you can see some of that debris was being dragged on the edge of the road, but it didn't make it far enough to any drains. And now the storm system's over. It's gonna get windy one more time later on tonight, but there's no rain that comes with that. That's when the cold front comes in and everything's gonna flash freeze. Right now it's 55 out. I don't know if the temperature's still rising. It might still be rising. It's gonna crash down to around 8 degrees even in Massachusetts tonight. Alright everyone, it is the next night. Right now it just got really windy and really rainy once again. some of these gusts coming through here are so strong, you gotta put both hands on the steering wheel real tight. So there could be more trees coming down. I didn't get to see any trees on a public road. I went down some recreational roads and I cleared a couple trees out of the way with the chainsaw, but not on the public roads. That is a possibility, and I am fully prepared for that. It's getting very gusty out again. This is the cold front coming through. No more warm weather. Temperatures are gonna crash. It's gonna be in single digits within 6 hours. Right now it is 40 degrees. It has dropped 10 degrees in the last 2 hours. It's dropping fast. It's gonna start getting really cold out, and we're not that far away from freezing. These roads might become sheets of ice. And I do have studded tires, which are gonna help, but it's gonna be a problem because I'm in Massachusetts. Not many people in Massachusetts have studded tires, so you gotta really watch out for other people. And by the time this is over, it's supposed to switch over to snow, so it might get really bad, and I might have to run the chains. Rather not do that on public roads, unless it's really slippery. If that happens, I'm likely just gonna pull over and sleep it out, because I don't want someone else crashing into me. That's my biggest concern. Not myself, other people. Because if I have chains on, it means I can't go very fast, and you know Massachusetts people are very impatient. But the good news is, there's not many people on the road right now, which is weird, because you saw how many people were on the road last night coming down. Right here in Amherst, or maybe this is Hadley, Massachusetts. I'm just about on the line. The sky looks beautiful today. Look at that. Amazing looking sky. Alright everyone, I think we're gonna end this video now. I just stopped at Cumberland Farms, got something to eat and some fuel. I think I'm gonna head back. It's now snowing. There's not going to be any more rain. In fact, the roads are going to start to get really bad on the way back. And the temperature is already plunging. We're already down to 32 degrees. It's supposed to get down in the single digits in Massachusetts tonight. And the lower single digits up in Maine. All right, heading out. Well, this is Massachusetts for you. This is really irritating. There's so many slow drivers in the fast lane, and I can't pass them on the other side. That's against the law. I'm not going to go weaving around everyone. My windshield is a little bit foggy because the wipers are horrible. What you're seeing on the screen is not what's in real life. That's just fog on the windshield because the wipers are horrible. The road is completely clear. The visibility is not bad. It's just snowing a little bit. The road is treated with salt. Nothing is sticking, but yet everyone's driving really slow in the left lane. I don't understand why. Back there, that entire slow traffic jam you saw in the time lapse it makes no sense to me. It's not snowing hard. It's not sticking to the road. The visibility is perfect. There we go. The camera finally focused, and you can see the visibility is not that bad. The camera was having trouble focusing, especially with the fog on the windshield. You see, my wipers aren't going that fast. Yeah, camera doesn't like focusing. But when it does, you can see it's perfectly clear. I don't get the people going 20 under the speed limit at the moment. good. Now today it makes sense that they're putting salt down because the temperature is now well below freezing and this road could ice up pretty quickly. Yesterday that made no sense when I showed them putting it down when it was like 40 degrees and temperatures were rising. Alright, we just passed an exit and like half of the people got off it. Now we're back up to full speed. All the slow pokes got off on that exit. There's still a ton of cars, but we're not doing that slow stuff anymore. An abundance of bad drivers today. Look at the road in front of me. It's pretty clear. It's not even snowing anymore. There's barely anyone on the road. But why is this guy in the left lane going slow? Yeah, that guy has the right idea. Why is this guy in this lane? Hear all that loud wind noise? Wind is picking up a lot as the cold front is slowly moving over us. Temperatures are already down to 22. Thankfully the road is dry this far up. Don't have to worry about ice.